Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I'm here with my lovely wife, Dr. Alicia Watkins. How you doing today, babe?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing extremely well. I think I'm doing better than Kanye. Poor guy.
What did you the tragedy of Kim and Kanye? Yeah, it is a tragic situation when a family breaks up like this. So I agree
hmm
with your title. Hmm.
Yeah. Well, family breakups are always a tragedy, and I know you and I've been talking about a lot of this.
Hmm.
In terms of what we're seeing. And I thought it would be interesting to have a discussion about that, just from a general standpoint of, like what's the best way to handle a breakup? I was like, this can't be healthy. I don't know. I don't know. Let me ask everybody in here. Um, what do you think? I mean, have you been seeing? Give me a yes or no. Have you been observing some of the chaos in terms of what's been going on with social media with the breakup of Kim and Kanye? Give me a yes or no to let me know if you've been following any of this, because it just seems kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. I think are we can people hear us?
I don't know. I guess they
Hmm?
can.
I don't know. I don't
We'll
see
keep
anything.
talking. We'll
Yeah,
get it.
let's just keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's well, first of all, I mean, that's how we're able to see anything. Before you talk about your breakup publicly, usually people wait, why are you looking?
Nothing.
Okay, your
Just keep talking.
face.
Keep
Okay.
talking.
Yeah, it's so it is an official breakup. Once you start announcing it to the public, I'm certain usually couples have all these mini breakups before the big breakup. It's
Mm,
like we're over. Now we're not over. It's like the back and forth that goes, you know how relationships are. The back and forth that goes privately and then all of a sudden you just kind of just say, this is it. We need to make a public announcement. And so I could definitely see that happening, making a public announcement. I don't see
hmm
anything. Can
Yeah,
people hear
I
us?
don't think they can hear us. I don't know if you guys can hear us or not, but I'm gonna check on another screen because I'm literally seeing nothing, no action, no nothing on the.
No action.
Yeah. It's very strange because normally we see action and you know what, guys, we're gonna end this podcast and start over again because this isn't. It looks like you guys can't hear us, so we're gonna start over. I know maybe you can't hear us and you're screaming like, no, we can hear you, but we can't. We literally can see no evidence. Okay, look, Black Kelly says they can hear us. He says I can hear y'all. We're gonna like come in.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that's kind of what you're dealing
You've
with.
been blacklisted, boys. What happened?
I get, and it's funny because it's not like I'm a criminal. It's not like I'm a
Are
terrorist.
you part of the Communist Party?
Maybe I'm spreading misinformation. Black people are intelligent. That's misinformation. Why would you tell black people that they're smart? That's a lie. You're a Trump supporter. So anyway,
Well,
okay,
let's keep
the
going.
Black Discovery Channel says that we're in and out.
We're in and out. So it's
Yeah,
something with our sound.
yeah. So literally, we can't and try to come back in and see if we have better luck this time. So don't go anywhere, guys. We're gonna try one more time. Hold on. Hey guys. Okay. So can you guys hear us now? Like, give us a yes if you can hear us now. Okay, wait. Shachi says I hear it very well, loud and clear.
Oh my.
Yeah, so people heard. Look at this. Look at all the comments now. That we could look. Maureen's like, we can hear you. Kelvin,
It's like we can hear you. Move on, please.
I know. Like, come on, like, stop it.
Well,
Yeah,
I think the problem was that we couldn't see that people could hear us.
yeah. We couldn't. We literally saw no comments on the screen. I'm so sorry, guys. Please forgive us. All right, so let's jump into the
Okay, let's
conversation,
get
man.
into it for real.
Let's get it
Okay.
cracking,
All
yo.
right.
Let's get
Start
it
again.
cracking.
Here we go.
All right. So anyway, all right. So you guys saw what was going on with Kanye and Kim. All right. So here's the deal, right? I want to make it this 100% clear. We are curious about it and wanted to talk about it, but not so much from a detailed perspective in terms of our concern about the lives of celebrities. I kind of think that's not beneficial. But I do think that this is an interesting template because when from our perspective, you kind of see a lot of people, especially young people, making over or so making um relationship choices where you're like, ooh, that's gonna be real bad for them.
We see a lot of young people making relationship choices that are bad for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you live and learn. I think that, you have to have the ability to just do what you feel in the moment, and then also the ability to reflect and to look back on it and say, how could I have done better and what can I learn going forward? So it's okay. I mean, I remember when I was really young, I didn't make any awful wild choices in terms of relationships, but there were some things that were less than ideal that I could have done better looking back on it.
Things where you look back and you're like,
Oh,
man,
what was I thinking?
like who was I at that time?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
you just don't have, you're evolving. You're trying to figure things out. You're trying to figure out who and what you are,
that is
you
so
know?
true. Well,
So,
when I look at Kanye West and Kim, I my first thought when I see Kanye making comments on social media, like you pointed something out to me the other day where he said something about like pray for me and my kids or pray,
well,
dear
I
God,
think that that's what he should say.
God let me get my pray that I get my kids back. Um,
Yeah.
what I hear is kind of like this desperation.
Mhm.
There's the post. I'll put it on the screen. But it's like this interesting public desperation, like a cry for
Mhm.
help. Like here's what he said. He said, "God, please bring our family back together."
Oh. Yeah, that's a pretty sad statement. And I think that it's for from what I can see from Kanye West, it's just a grieving process. It makes sense. I mean, think about it. You marry somebody and you have four children with them, and you've been married for quite some time, and you shared some really wonderful experiences with that person. And then, for whatever circumstances, the relationship is over. You can kind of look back on that and go, geez,
Mm-hmm.
what we could have been. And who's to say they won't get back together? I kind of would like to see them reconcile. But at the same time, I also see that he seems to be kind of angry too. So he
Mm-hmm.
vasculates between this sort of desperation, like you said, and then he just gets real mad and frustrated.
Yeah, I think so too. And
Yeah.
now what's interesting, I'm looking. Shaji says I pronounced his name correctly. So thank you, Shaji. I'm glad I did it right, man. I don't want to mispronounce your name, brother. And then Samantha says these doctors know these people in real life. Well, actually, I do know Kanye West, but I don't know him very well. He did call me, and we did talk, but it was only for a few minutes. And because we have a mutual interest in Powernomics and Dr. Claude Anderson, and as you know,
Yeah.
Dr. Anderson is he's basically like a father for me. I see him as a dad, and so I would say that, but that's not really the point here. I think the point is what I'm seeing. My main point,
Hmm.
honestly, is when you are taking your relationship public. I just think the kids get hurt. I
Yeah.
don't think I don't see how anybody can make an argument that the kids are better off when their
Hmm.
parents are fighting on Instagram. And I also feel like it's a little bit selfish.
Hmm.
Like it's like a reflection of the narcissism of our time, where everybody's like, I'm not gonna just have a private life anymore. I'm gonna have my life. Everything I do must be public because I need public validation of my feelings and how I look and what I'm doing and all my swag.
Okay. Well, okay, that's interesting that you see it that way. So I see it as He is just angry, and I think that he is taking his anger out on his ex-wife, or soon to be ex-wife. Well, really, he needs to take his anger out on the situation. So he needs to say to himself, or anybody who's going through this needs to say, I'm really upset that I can't see my children right now, that this is the situation that I'm in. I'm really upset that my finances isn't where it's supposed to be, because we know when you're going through a divorce, your finances seem to be kind of out of whack, a little bit inconsistent. So you just need to get, if there's any anger, you can channel that anger into the situation and not a person. Say,
Mhm.
I can't stand that lady. It's just, that's just the circumstances of what's going on. So that's one thing. And I think that he needs to have some, and we need to have compassion for other people who are going through something like this, because, and he needs to have some self-compassion, because it's a very terrible thing to have your whole world turned upside down. You get married to somebody because you think that marriage is going to last forever, and to have to let that go is a grieving process. So, you can go through all of the stages of grief, and anger is an appropriate stage of grief. So I think he's dealing with a lot of anger, and he just needs to come up with a way to calm himself down and to be a little more mindful. I think he could benefit from having a little bit of a filter. Yes, we love Kanye. I do. I personally love Kanye West and people like him, because what you see is what you get. It's not like he's trying to front, or he's trying to like pretend to be something that he's not. He's very authentic. And of course, he's a genius, and I think he's a misunderstood soul. Honestly, I think he's misunderstood, but I think that he needs to have a little bit of a filter and just hold back a little bit.
Mhm.
Go within.
Well, let me give you
you
the,
know.
I'll give you a quick Dr. Boyce breakdown on this.
Okay.
It's selfish for you as an adult to air out your dirty laundry on social media. It also could be considered a type of narcissism.
Hmm.
And as much as I love Kanye and the good side of Kanye, I love the good Kanye.
Okay.
But there's another Kanye that thinks he's the center of the fucking universe. Excuse
Ah,
my French.
interesting.
I can't, I just really, and I'm sorry, because I know he knows me and all that. But brother, you can get you a therapist. Like you can get a person who will allow you to go into an office and scream, holler, rant, cuss, kick things, do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doing it on social media makes people think that something's wrong with you, that you're choosing not to get the help that you need, um,
Mm-hmm.
that you might be on drugs. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he's on
I
drugs.
don't think he is.
Whatever it is, but I would just say it makes him look like he's on drugs. And Kim has said, I think he's on drugs or something like that. I heard him say something like stop saying I'm on drugs or something right now. So that would, to me, that would mean that I interpret that to mean drugs might have been somewhere around somewhere. Why would a wife randomly just, why are drugs even coming up in the conversation? Like if you and I were having a public back and forth, it's not like I would just randomly say, Alicia, stop using drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Because drugs are not in our household. It's not in our life. We don't live that kind of lifestyle, right? So I'm just trying to say, you know, I don't like it. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
lie.
well, it definitely isn't putting the children first. So you're right in that, that you need to be able to put the children first and do what's best for the child. And we know that children turn out healthier in divorces when parents are able to get along with each other and to co-parent effectively. We know that all of the mudslinging and all this back and forth publicly is not helpful for the children. I wouldn't say that he's a narcissist. I think I'm in that camp that says no, because he we have seen him apologize. Narcissistic people don't apologize. They never see where they're wrong. So I when I see him talking about, I really would love to have my family back. To me, that's kind of like, this is what I really need. That's him kind of just expressing how he really feels. And narcissistic people would never say that. So I don't see him necessarily as a narcissist. I just see him as someone who's just very open and should probably censor some of the things that he says. And but he's the kind of person that never censors. We got to know Kanye West because he got on the screen and said George Bush doesn't care about black people. Remember that during the Hurricane Katrina?
Hmm.
He's just uncensored. That's just how it is. And Kim knew what she was getting into when she married him. And by the way, I saw a little bit of mudslinging between the two of them in terms of um, showing their children on social media. That
Hmm.
kind of confuses me because Kim has a reality show, a reality show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where all it did was feature their entire family on television. So I'm really confused and don't quite understand why he wouldn't want his children to be on the screen like that when that's what they've had their entire life since they were born. They've been on the screen.
Yeah, I think that I get a sense that that's just a disagreement, and
Yeah.
because I remember seeing an image of Kanye stopping a photographer from taking pictures of his kids.
Okay.
He's like, I don't want my kids out there like that. Speaking of his kids, let's talk about the people that matter the most in all this.
The children, for sure.
I was really curious about the kids and their ages. So here's a list of Kanye's kids and their ages. So you have Northwest, who's the oldest. She's 8. Saint West, who's 6. Chicago West, who's 4, and Psalm West, who's 2.
Mm.
Very interesting
Very
names.
stair step.
Yeah,
Every 2 years they had a
yeah.
child.
2468. Wow,
Hmm.
that's quite fascinating.
Yeah. And
So
from what I can see, Kim's a great mother. I mean, and this, of course, this is what I'm just
from what you
seeing.
see, like
From what
it,
I'm
yeah,
seeing, I don't know if it's
we
produced,
right.
but she seems to be, pretty in tune with her children. I saw the TikToks that they've done. I thought it was very tasteful that she's done with her kids. I thought they were funny and tasteful. It wasn't revealing too much. Don't you? Did you see it?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
seemed
I
funny.
mean, I also know you can carefully craft an image, and the Kardashians are the best in the world at that, right?
Okay.
So it doesn't mean that she's a bad mother. I'm not making that assumption. But remember, I mean, first of all, you are talking about somebody who got famous from a sex tape. And let's not forget that, right? And also remember this: image is everything for the Kardashians. That's where you get the fake booties, the fake lips, fake eye, fake everything, plastic surgery. If you look at before, if you want to see a really interesting horror movie, look at the before after pictures of the Kardashians. It's quite fascinating. It's really fascinating. And then then the third thing is the way they choose their men is really interesting. They don't like it's not like some would say the Kardashians like black men. They don't like black men. They like rappers. They like
Basketball player.
basketball players.
Well,
That's what they want. And I can see the mom and coaching them like get next to Travis Scott. That's gonna blow you up. Get next to Kanye. That's gonna blow you up.
you okay?
Get
Hold
next
on.
to
You really think that Chris is like, yeah, go date Travis Scott? Like for real?
I think that I do think that there is a coaching that comes from the mother. She's a great businesswoman, no doubt about it. But it's like it's
Mm.
not a coincidence when all your kids end up dating super famous rappers and basketball players.
Well, I mean, I'm certain that's probably who they hang out with because they are famous themselves.
Yeah, but name another family where they got that many rappers and basketball players in the family, and there's it's like cross racial or whatever that would be.
Oh boy. I don't know. It just seems they date whoever they want to date, and it seems like it was authentic, and it seems like they really love those children, and they take really good care of those children. Of course, that's what it seems from the show, and I do watch the show. It also seems that Kanye West is hurting through this separation. It seems like he is having a very difficult time adjusting. I did see where it looks like he was dating someone already, and
I
I
think
thought
another white lady.
another white lady talking about being a black man, but that seemed a little soon. Like he probably should just be alone for a little bit and sort out this whole situation with Kim first before he moves on to someone else. So I wonder about his mental health, honestly.
Well,
Uh,
let's extrapolate it, right? Let's
mm-hmm.
not just make it about Kim and Kanye because
Well, we're not.
they're gonna do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's I see this as a teaching learning opportunity. Because when you're talking about the way this breakup's being handled, I almost see it as like a case study for how to not handle a breakup.
Yes, yes, it
Like
is.
things you should not do, right? And I think that, or even people you should not get with. Like I've seen black folks who said, who talked about the fact that Kanye, as black as he is he's butter black, on some issues, but then, I've never really seen him form a strong, healthy relationship with a black woman, right? Now, I'm not saying I mean, it's his right. I'm not judging that at all. But I think, it does kind of make some people legitimately say, yeah, he's marrying that lady. She ain't white quite, but she's not black, whatever she is. And
Mhm.
remember also, there's an argument to be made that it's kind of like when those athletes marry groupies, or they go to the NFL and they date and marry everything except a black woman.
Yeah.
And those women are women who don't want him as a black man. They want him because he's got $100 million NBA contract, or they
Mhm.
want him because he's got that $50 million record deal, right? Because here's the deal: the reality is that Kim Kardashian probably wouldn't be dating Kanye if he was just some some regular dude. If he's a truck driver on the south side of Chicago, but a black woman would. A black woman would take him as a truck driver on the south side of Chicago. The Kardashians would not. They definitely saw that, I think, as a clout
Yeah.
opportunity.
I've always kind of wondered about Kanye's dating choices. He dated this one lady. I had never heard of her before. Amber Rose, is that her name?
Yeah,
Or is that
that bald
that
headed
was
lady,
really strange.
the one that did the slut walk.
She did a slut walk?
Yeah,
Oh,
she's into like she
wow.
calls it. I think she's one of the people that helped originate that term slut shaming. That you should be
Wow.
allowed to go have sex with 800 people a day, and no one's
Okay.
supposed to
And
even
so that's his
like
ex.
care about it.
Okay.
They're supposed to treat you as if you're you know this well preserved human being.
Oh gosh. Okay. So that's his dating choices. So I mean, so there's something to be said about people's dating choices, who you choose to sync up with. I thought they were a really strong couple together. I got from the show.
You
It
talking
could be
about
produced.
Kanye Kim, or you talking about Kanye and
I'm talking
Amber?
about Kanye and Kim. I'm talking about
Oh,
I felt like he was just different and she understood that he was different.
mm.
That he was just unique, a special he was just a special person.
Well, you ever
I
notice
kind of felt that
one
way.
thing about Kim Kardashian that I do respect, though, even though you could definitely challenge her on a lot of things, and there's a lot of things you could say about the origins of the career or the motivations of the Kardashians. One thing I can say though is Kim is right up there with Beyonce when it comes to composure. She's not the one going off the rails. You know,
Mm-mm.
she almost presents herself in a way, and I think it's strategic. That's almost like regal. Like, I'm not even
Oh
going to
yeah.
really speak because I'm the queen, and I'm just going to sit here and look gorgeous, and that's it. And every now and then I'll come out and make a statement, but it's going to be carefully crafted. And
Mm-hmm.
she's done great work on criminal justice. I think she went to law school, so she could learn the law to
Mm-hmm.
fight on criminal justice reform. I respect that. That
Yeah.
I respect. I think the other things, about being a Kardashian, I don't quite understand and don't agree with. But it's not as if she's just some bimbo who's just sitting there being stupid. She's not, and I think that it sounds like she's complex, and plus she's damn near a billionaire. I mean that's an accomplishment, right? Let's give her credit for that. I do wonder though, when you're talking about these relationships where you're getting together with somebody because you're thinking about how other people are going to view that relationship. I wonder if you're setting yourself up for disaster when you think that way.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you're the one that has to sleep with that person. You're the one that has to be with that person day in and day out. So it has to be someone that you're authentically compatible with, and not just there for the cameras and for the show. I mean, she had I think they loved each other. You have
Yeah,
4 children with someone and you're married to someone. I'm not certain how long they were married, but it was quite some time.
it was a
I
few
mean,
years.
how can you fake it that long? It just doesn't make sense. There had to have been something really authentically real between the two of them. I think there was just true love between the two of them. And it's really too bad that they're not together anymore. It is too bad that they're having this public display of disagreement. And I will have to say it's more coming on the side of Kanye West. Some of the things that he's put on social media make sense to me. he's talking about as a black man, I really want to have my family with me. I really want to have this. So that's saying that there's just disagreements in terms of the parenting plan. That's the very first thing. Like when you're going through a divorce like this, the very first thing people are interested in is screw everything else. What's the parenting plan? And then the rest of the stuff we'll just talk about it later. But the parenting plan is the very first thing that they talk about. How are we going to celebrate birthdays? How are we going to celebrate major holidays? And usually it's give or take. You get this year Christmas, next Christmas you Kim, you get next Christmas. You get Christmas 2023, you get Thanksgiving 2024. So there has to be a way for them. There's got to be a mediator or some way for them to sit down, probably with their lawyers, and figure out in private how they're going to come up with a parenting plan. And then everybody sticks to it. There shouldn't even be any question about it. Now, because this is a new breakup, probably those sort of decisions haven't been made yet. And so there it's just kind of up in the air. And I think that he is reacting very strongly to several things that he feels like he's been pushed out of or left out of. But there's nothing stopping him during the time that he has his children of celebrating birthdays on his time. Maybe they're just not at a point because the relationship is just newly dissolved in a dissolving state. Maybe they just can't be together like that, and that's okay. Don't you think?
Well, I think I think that your thoughts are probably more complex than mine in
Okay.
terms of, because that's your thing, right? You're a therapist, right? And
Hmm.
I respect that. I look at it as, when you are, first of all, an ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure.
Hmm.
It, you got to think carefully about who you choose to get with, because other people are going to be affected. When you have kids,
Hmm.
in my view, the parents are like a building that shelters the children. And if that building does not have a solid foundation, the building is going to crumble, and it's going to crumble on top of the kids. So that to me is where I start with this. I wonder how much thought was put into the relationship, other than Kim saying, okay, he's a famous rapper with a lot of money, he could build my reputation, and Kanye saying, damn, look at that ass.
Okay.
Right,
Well,
I think, I mean, and that's the thing. But don't
I
get me wrong, a lot of us do that.
mhm.
A lot of men get sucked in by a big butt and a smile and all that, and it is what it is. But now think about it. Right now, you built a whole foundation off of clout and ass. Right,
Well,
so
we
yeah,
don't
a
know
whole.
if that's really what happened. I mean, maybe that was the initial attraction, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I find it hard to believe that someone would just marry somebody just because of their outside appearance. And even if you get to know that person, you're attracted to somebody and you get to know them and you fall in love with them and you decide to get married to them and you go through everything, you're still taking a leap of faith.
Yeah.
You can't control for everything. And the thing is that it'd be interesting, really to figure out, is it really over? And that's what I ask my couples. Couples who are on the fence. I talk to couples who are on the fence. They don't know if they should end their marriage or if they should try to work on it, or just say, let's just part ways. And I just say, let's talk about it. What steps need to be made? What changes need to be made so that you can make sure that you're getting your needs met in the relationship?
Well, let me just tell you what I see.
Yeah.
I see it as, I respect the way marriage is done in, like, say, in African villages. I remember Nomalanga would talk about Botswana, and it seemed to me, I'm not sure, 100% sure, but in her culture, it seemed to me that I remember her mentioning something about how you could come home and be super excited about who you just met and how cute they are and how awesome they are, what a great person they are. But then you have loved ones, the elders in the family, the grandma, the grandfather, etc., who are going to evaluate your choice to make sure you're not drunken in love, to make sure you're not doing something that's going to jeopardize the institution of the family by bringing somebody into this space that doesn't belong here. And because your grandma ain't in love with that dude,
Mhm.
your granddaddy don't give a damn about this guy. He's just looking at him with a whole different lens. And I think that there's something to that because what it kind of does is it brings a sobering perspective on who you date. Now, how does that translate to the United States? In my view, I'm going old school with it. But this is honestly for anybody out here that wants to be strategic in terms of making your marriage into a power move. When you fall in love with somebody, you're thinking about locking arms with them, introduce them to several people in your family that you really respect and see if you can get an honest perspective. You know, tell them as much as you can so that they can kind of say, I don't know, that's I got a story about that, or ooh, you got to watch out with them drugs, or ooh, that all that drinking, I don't know about that. Like because stuff like that can just, that due diligence. Thank you, Motown House, that's a great term. That due diligence is kind of important. I mean, think about it. You have due diligence when you go buy a house. You have due diligence when you're about to go take a job. You have due diligence when you're about to sign a contract. Well, what contract is more important than the contract of marriage, which is going to affect your seed?
Well, I'm not certain what goes on in Botswana. Was that what you said? I'm not certain about that, but I know that I think that process happens with many people. I mean, I've seen it happen where you have a date, you bring them for Thanksgiving, you let everybody see what they think. You've gotten to that stage of the relationship where it's just past the infatuation stage, and you really are getting to know each other, and you're really starting to like each other, and you bring them around your family, you bring them around your friends. I mean, I'm not certain that I see anything different happening here. I don't see what's so special about the scenario that you just laid out in Botswana, but I've seen that scenario happen over and over again here. And even though grandma and mama and papa and all of them say, I think this is a good choice. I think you're having you're in a relationship with someone with who's good for you. Even in that situation, you're still taking a leap of faith. And I think what's important is that you have to make sure that the person that you're marrying is committed to the marriage, and to the marriage, and
Yes,
it's
yeah.
somebody that you trust.
Well, I think commit. Well,
That commitment will take you so far.
yeah, stay
Hmm.
married. That's the commitment. I think that to me,
Uh-huh.
and I think ultimately, remember, Americans don't do marriage very well. Most marriages end in divorce. And so Kim Kardashian, this is her third marriage. I totally expected that it wasn't gonna last. I would have bet money on this. I would have bet money. Like the only thing that surprised me about the marriage, to be honest with you, was that it lasted this long.
Keep pouring.
And and the truth of the matter is that people who want to avoid some of that, I really personally believe you've got to come up with a set of values that go deeper than what we most Americans, kind of buy into. And I do agree with you though. I mean, we do have that a little bit of that vetting process where we bring somebody by the house and stuff like that. But I don't think that it's as significant as it might be, say, in Asian countries. I mean, there are some places you go where if your father does not approve of the marriage, it will not happen, right? And we think that is toxic patriarchy, right? But
Hmm.
but a wise father might be the person that helps you to avoid a calamity in your life. There's a lot of fathers I've seen who watch their daughter go date a guy who ends up beating their daughter up. And then
Oh my.
and the father might have seen this coming. The father might be like, I know dads who've gone through that, who've been like, I told her not to date this asshole, and now she's got a black eye because she didn't listen because she was in love,
Okay.
and
Well,
she
then
let
that.
I don't think love should be the guiding force behind your lifetime commitments. I think that it has to be deeper than that. I think
Oh
there has
yeah,
to be
love.
some strategy to it too.
Love for sure is not enough to get married to somebody. I mean, you could love somebody and not get married to them. It's
Mhm.
quite it's quite possible, but it's making that commitment of marriage is making a commitment of fidelity. It's building something together. It's an institution that you build together, and it's for a lifelong, and it's legal too. It's a legal institution.
Mhm.
That's your next of kin.
Yeah. I
So you
mean,
better be good with the person who's going to be making a decision to pull the plug.
well, it's kind of like going into business with somebody for life.
Yeah.
And you've got, every child you have, that's like a little entity, a little business you start together, and a lot of businesses fail because the founders came up short. There's four little children, eight, two,
Yeah.
4, 6, and 8, who are
Mhm.
Now Northwest is 8 years old. She's learning how to use social media. That was one of their disputes. Like, why is my daughter on social media? Well, now your daughter's flopping through TikTok. She's flopping through Instagram. She's noticing mama got 80 million followers. Daddy got 70 million, 100 million, 90 million, whatever Kanye's got. I don't know who's got more followers between these two. And she's seeing all the vitriol of
Yeah.
all these people that are making comments about their family. Like what does an 8-year-old do with that?
Yeah, I'm certain it's pretty interesting, and I hope that she doesn't feel that she, that she needs to take sides in this. I hope that Kim is encouraging her to spend time with her dad and to develop a relationship with her dad. And clearly, hopefully, Kanye West is um, encouraging her to spend time with her mother and to connect with her mother. And that's what children want to see. They want to see you make really positive comments about their parent. I mean, think about it. Half of you are half of your parent. You are half of your mother, you're half of your dad. And you don't want, if your mom is making nasty comments about your dad, then that's part of you that she's making nasty comments about. And it works that way. That's how children internalize things. Well, there's something wrong with my dad, then there's something wrong with me. If there's something wrong with my mother, there's something wrong with me. And so children want to see their parents love each other, and they actually turn out better in divorce, because we talk about all the negative impact that children can have, that divorce can have on children. But we know a lot of that is buffered by parents who get along with each other and can co-parent effectively.
Yeah,
You're
well,
supposed to know what's going on. You're supposed to tell your child, here's the plan. Here's the plan of what we're gonna have. At 5 o'clock, you're gonna go to your dad's house, and then tomorrow at 6 o'clock, you're gonna come home, and then you follow through with that. They should know what's going on. They should know the plan. And when they see their parents together, their parents better put a smile on their face and say, "Here she goes, have a good time." Encourage your child to have a good time with a non-custodial parent and with a custodial parent. Have a good time at your mom's, have a good time with your dad. And all that hatred, you wait until the child's not around and then fight. You don't do it in front of the children.
well, you know what? I will say this. I think I my heart goes out to the kids,
Hmm.
and I would encourage everybody. This is Uncle Boyce advice. Um, choose your relationships carefully, male or female.
Okay, so you're still into
I
the
think they,
choice thing.
yeah, I think they both chose wrong. To be honest with you, I think it's like kind of just a circus. And who's to blame? I don't know. I don't know if Kanye is more to blame or Kim. I mean, all I know is Kanye's the one on social media yelling and screaming.
He needs to cut it out.
If I was talking to him, I would say, "Come on, man, stop this." But I mean, Kim is no saint, but you know, at the same time, they weren't a fit for each other, and now it's sort of spilling out. And there's also an economic implication. I mean, both of their brands are heavily affected. I don't know if it's going to be a negative or a positive for their brands. I can't see this being a positive, but then again though, they're both masters at spending things, in a way where they eventually end up making money. Kanye's outrageousness made him a billionaire, right? So I don't want to be that outrageous. I think that there's a level of dignity you end up giving up. I mean, think about this. Became a billionaire by acting crazy. Kim became a billionaire with a sex tape. How many people are willing to pay that price to become wealthy? I don't
Okay.
know. I would not pay that price. I feel like you're selling your soul a little bit,
Yeah, well,
and you're humiliating yourself a little bit.
I think they've evolved. I think Kanye West has evolved past his kind of craziness a little bit.
Have you
If
seen
I ever use the
Have you
word
seen the music
crazy.
videos he's put out in the last 2 years?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean he's an artist, right? Brilliant, but I feel like Kanye is a reflection of the times.
Mhm.
He's a
Mhm.
reflection of the fact that we, unfortunately, social media is not a space that fosters healthy, intelligent, productive lifestyle choices. It's a place of chaos. It's a big circus, and the biggest clown gets the most likes. The women who online who are getting the most attention are not the ones who are intelligent and giving thought provoking analyses. It's the ones who showing ass and whatever, right? And I feel like that would lead me to say to others out here listening, Don't evaluate your worth based on what people are saying or doing on social media. Some of the healthiest things you could do in your life and for the lives of others around you are not going to get you any likes on the internet. That no, you won't get any likes, shares, or follows. I got lucky. I have a big following. I have hundreds of thousands. I have 340,000 that follow me on Instagram. Um, and I got lucky, but I don't deserve that. And I feel like ultimately it breaks my heart that I see really smart people doing really healthy things who get no attention, but then I see people doing things that are just ridiculous, and everybody loves it. The world, some parts of the world have gone a little bit crazy. But that's me shaking my fist at the air. I
Of
digress.
course. Yeah, but I mean, boys, don't, let's just say, I mean, the work you do is solid. I mean, you got 300 and some odd thousand followers on Instagram, because you're awesome, and would you have something to say that people really want to hear?
Oh, you think I'm awesome?
Yeah, I really do. And you have something to say. Like,
I bet you think I'm handsome too, don't you?
you're handsome, you're awesome, you're adorable,
Oh, give me a kiss.
you're
Come here.
sweet. Oh,
Mm.
mwah. All of those things. You should have 1 million followers based on the content I see you put out. It's
Oh,
really remarkable, and I see it in action, and I see it day by day, and I think it's wonderful. So don't say that about yourself.
oh, I think she likes me. Y'all think she likes me? Well, I'm
You
honored.
should have more followers than Kanye West. You're just as smart.
Dr. Push rap album coming out to a store near you. 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
His mama's name is Donda. I'm gonna put out an album called Robin.
He's
That's my
got
mama's
another
name.
one, Donda 2, coming out.
Donda too? Okay.
Yeah. So again, when I see that, I'm just like, he's needing some. He's losing his wife. He lost and it's a grief.
Mm.
I think there's some mom issues coming up.
Yes.
The loss of his mother, and the loss of Kim, and the loss of his daughters in this way. I'm
Yes.
just thinking that he's just in this very needy, desperate space. And he misses his mother. He probably needs his mom right now. I bet if he would just give anything to just have a conversation with her, and to just get her guidance. And he did kind of unravel after she passed. And how could you not?
Well,
How could you not?
remember him and Tiger Woods both kind of went a little bit left after their primary parent passed.
Yeah,
So this does happen.
it does happen. So I mean, he's wanting that maternal energy. And what he needs to do is date a black woman. We're gonna get it. We're gonna love him up. We're
Oh,
gonna kiss him up and love him
that's
up
so
and give him
true.
everything he needs.
Yeah, y'all do have patience with our crazy asses.
Lots of
Shout out
patience.
to the black women who are committed to black men no matter what, and shout out to the black men who are committed to black women despite their crazy asses. Because y'all got some issues too.
Well, everybody's
We
crazy.
all went through slavery and oppression. I think all of us need therapists. So, but anyway, well, thank you, babe. It was great having this conversation with you.
It's always fun talking to you. I don't even care what the topic is. I just like being with you.
Oh, well, I like
I
being with
really
you too.
do.
Thank you, babe. I appreciate it. Well, thank you all for joining us today. Sorry about the audio issues earlier. We apologize for that. You can blame StreamYard because we were confused too. But anyway, Alicia's website is coachingwithdralicia.com. As you know, she's a licensed therapist and a full professor of social work. And so she sees clients and does a lot of therapy on relationships, stuff like that. If you want to learn more, you can go to coachingwithdralicia.com or follow her at Coaching with Dr. Alicia. If you'd like to support the platform, feel free to go to intelligentblackpeople.com, become a patron. In exchange, I share stock picks every week with patrons. So these are stocks that I personally select and invest in. So if you're an investor, then feel free to go to intelligentblackpeople.com and you can sign up. And I will send you stock selections each week that you can take a look at and decide if you want to add it to your portfolio. All right, guys, I'm out of here. God bless you. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon. Take care.
Bye, everyone.